All right, we're back. We're still on page 141. We're going to do some practice problems that involve raising complex numbers to nth powers, multiplying, dividing, like all those things. So let's see. You'll find it's like I'm probably about to get every one of them wrong. It's like surprisingly easy to do it. So we'll see if that holds as I say that. So first thing I got to do is I got to square z1. So z1 is here. All right, so that's going to be square this thing. So that's going to be 9. Well, yeah, I'm right, it's 9. And then cis. So if I'm squaring, I multiply this by 2, so 60. And then z2, I have to cube, right? So that's cube this thing, so that's 125 cis. And then if I'm cubing, I multiply this by 3, so 135. And then that's going to give me, I don't know, 900 plus 225, 1125. 1125. And then it'll be cis 195, which is not a unit circle angle. So I'm just going to leave my answer like that. I'm going to check them all on the calculator at the end, or maybe partway through, depending on how annoying they get. So we'll see when we get there. But I think I'm going to leave my answer as 1125 cis 195. Perfectly good. All right, z1 times z2 times z3. So when you multiply complex numbers, you multiply the moduli, you add the arguments. So I'm going to first just deal with multiplying the moduli. So z1 gives me a 3, I get a 5, and a 4. So 3 times 5 times 4. 3 times 5 times 4, cis. Okay, when I multiply, I add the arguments. So if I was just doing z1 times z2, it would be 30 plus 45. Once I get 30 plus 45, which is 75, I have a new complex number. I'm going to multiply that by z3, so I just add that argument. So it's 75 plus 120, so 195 again. So that's interesting. 195. Maybe I should write it out as 30 plus 45 plus 120. Trying to like keep it all in the space allotted though. Oh wait, that is space allotted. I got confused because Z4 was there and I was like, oh my God, I'm taking up its space. No, I'm not. All right, so this is 20 times 3 is 60. Cis 195. It's like I really should work out the cosine and sine of 195. How would I do that? 195 is, well, it's 135 plus 60, I guess. So I would use the sum formula. So cosine of A plus B, sine of A plus B, get values, multiply by whatever. That's what I would do if I was going to do that, but I'm not going to do that. All right, Z1 times Z3, and then divided by Z4. All right, so let's take just the arguments, right? So Z1 times Z3 is multiply. So that's 3 times 4. And so that's 12. And then divided by this. So it's going to be 3 times 4 divided by 2. And then cis. All right, when you multiply, you add the arguments. So 30 and 120. So 30 plus 120. And then when you divide, you subtract. So it's minus negative 30. So I'm going to write that minus negative 30. So this gives me 12 over 2 is 6. And then cis, that's 150 plus 30, 180. All right, that's pi. And the cosine of pi is 1, and the cosine of pi is -1, and the sine is 0. So this is, that one should give me -6. And we'll see. I'm going to check them eventually. Z4 squared over Z1 cubed. All right, so Z4 squared. Z4 squared. So I need to square this. So that's going to be 4. And then cis. When you square, you multiply, right? So it's -30 times 2 is -60. So I'm just going to write it down. When I'm being a little more cavalier, I just like do the whole thing in my head and hope for the best, but probably not the time and the place, even though I'd like to. All right, so this I got to raise to the third. So I'm going to cube this. So 3 cubed is 27. And then when you cube, you multiply this by 3. So that's 90. Okay, so now I have 4 over 27. That's not going to really get any better. And then I should have cis negative 60 degrees minus 90 degrees. That's negative 150. 4 over 27 cis. Negative 150 is 210. 210 is 7 pi over 6. So this one we can actually do. 4 over 27, negative root 3 over 2 minus 1/2 I, which is negative 2 root 3 over 27 minus 2 over 27 I. I look forward to checking that. We'll see. And they're just going to keep getting worse. All right. So, I mean, there's not like worse exactly, but not better. So z2 squared is 5 squared. I'm going to do all of the moduli right now. So it's going to be z2 squared gives me a 5 squared. z3 gives me a 4, which I'm writing as 2 squared. Divided by z4, which is a 2. And then divided by z1, which gives me a 3. Okay, and then it's going to be cis. So we're doing all of them, right? z2 squared is going to give me 2 times 45 is 90. And then I'm multiplying, so plus z3 is a 120. And then I'm dividing, so it's going to be subtract negative 30, so I'm going to say plus 30. And z1 is going to be minus 30. Oh, so it's like it undid it. It's like it rotated 30 and then rotated back 30, so gone. So this gives me 25 times 2 is 50 over 3 cis. Just 90 plus 120 is 210, which is 7 pi over 6 again. So again, we can keep going. 50 over 3, 7 pi over 6, negative root 3 over 2, minus 1/2 I. Okay, so negative 25 root 3 over 3, and then minus 25 over 3 I think. We'll check them. All right, and then finally, here we go. This is the big one. I mean, I don't know if this is any worse. It's not really any worse. It's just got more parts. So I'm going to do all the arguments first, and then I will do all of the I'm going to do all the moduli first. Then I will do all the arguments. So the r's first. R's go first. So z1 squared is going to give me 3 squared. z4 cubed is going to give me a 2 cubed over z2 squared is going to give me a 5 squared. z3 squared. So z3 is 4, but that's 2 squared. So 2 squared squared is 2 to the 4th. So I'm going to write it that way. I'm always like thinking, what could speed this along? And that definitely does. Cis. All right. z1 squared. So I multiply this by 2 and get 60. And then plus z4 cubed. I multiply this by 3, negative 90. And then I add that, so it's like plus negative 90. Okay, so far, I don't know. I think good. z2 squared. So I multiply this by 2, so that's going to be plus 90. Oh, that's convenient. Plus 90. And then z3 squared. Plus 90, though. What am I doing? Nah, it's minus 90. Uh-oh, hold on. That's less convenient. So it's divided by z2 squared. So I multiply this by 2, 90, but then I'm subtracting it, so minus 90. So that does not cancel out. So take all your joy and crush it. And then z3 squared is going to be 240. So I'm going to subtract another 240. Ugh, minus 240. All right, what does this give us? This gives us, there's definitely a 9 over, there's a 29 over 50. And then cis, Negative, all right, let's think of this. This is negative 180. And then this is negative 180. So negative 360, which is negative 2 pi, which is the same as 0. And the cosine of 0 is 1. And the sine of 0 is 0. So this might just be 9 over 50. I don't know. All right, let's check them. So this may or may not be a long video, and I'm sure that this will definitely get comments about slowing down. Slow down, you're going so fast. Hit the gear. You control these things. It's up to you. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, new document. No, new problem. I don't know what I just did. I think new problem, doc 4.1. Okay. I'm going to switch to degree mode. So I'm just clicking, but it's doc 7.2. Switch to degrees. Okay. I'm going to define cis. Cis of t is going to be cosine of t plus I, which is in the pi key, but I've been doing this thing here where I do at I. Okay, so we got cis t. All right, here we go. I'm gonna define all of them. Z1 is 3 cis 30. Z2 is gonna be 5 cis 45. Z3 is gonna be 4 cis 120. So you should be trying this. You should be trying to keep up. You won't be able to because unless you're typing. If you're not typing, there's no chance. But let's see. So we got Z1 squared times Z2 cubed. Oh my gosh. Oh, let's get a decimal and then let's check 1125 cis 195 decimal. Yes. Okay. Z1 times Z2 times Z3. We're going to go with decimal here. And then is that the same as 60 cis 195? It is. So far, okay. Z1 times Z3 over Z4. Should be negative 6. Yes. Z4 to the second. Z1. I'm going to be really surprised if I get all these right, to be honest, because negative 2 root 3 over 27 minus 2. Yes. I'll be surprised because, like, there's a lot of places you could go wrong. Z3, Z4 times Z1. I mentioned in some of the videos, I'm like surprised how few things I've gotten wrong while making the videos because like, I think of myself as someone who makes a lot of mistakes. And you know, you just like pick yourself up and move on. Like I've never really let it hold me back, but I do make them. So squared, Z3 squared. This is the one. Yes, got them all. All right. So let's go back. I don't know. I mean, we're done. There we go. I had some trouble clicking the share button. That was embarrassing. There we go. So that's the end of page 141. There's a lot of practice problems. If you could do all of those, you are in really good shape. And I will be back in the next video to keep going. So I'll see you there.